your light is all set and it's beautiful and you still look great, but because you're
But
wearing a
now
dark
I'm just
shirt,
a disembodied head.
you are a floating head.
Here we go! Stay a while and listen. It's good!
You're back. You've returned. You've clicked on it again. It's Colette and Matt have entered the chat, a weekly conversation about video games, video game art, communities, technology, foibles, goofs and what is it? Goofs and gaffs?
Goofs
You
and
know,
gaffs.
all the fun
Foibles,
things.
goofs, and gaffs is such a podcast name.
That was, listeners may not know this. You know this. Foibles, Goofs, and Gaffs was the original name of the show, but we changed it to our own names for brand because the domain was taken.
Because most people can't spell foibles.
That is
Don't get me
correct.
started on how the average reading level is 8th grade again.
That's always been. That's always been.
It doesn't
Writing and
matter.
reading.
I'm upset about it every single time I
Don't
think
be
about
upset
it.
about it. Writing and reading is brand fucking new. It's only 4,000 years old. It is not what humans were made to do. Writing and reading is the same as playing piano. We don't know how to do it unless we learn it and learn it hard for a long time.
Yeah. Great.
My name is Matt Silverman, joined by a person who's, if you're watching the video version, who finally got her kelvins together. Is that what it is? Am I thinking of the right thing? It's the K is the temperature of your light. I don't mean the hotness. I mean the color temperature. And
Yes.
I think your light was super blue, which is white, which if your camera could compensate for that, you would look just fine. But because your camera is not quite up to the task,
It's a potato, Matt. Just call it how it is.
it was washing you out into potato land.
Potato.
And now that you've brought the kelvins to, I can't remember if you're going up or down, but you are now in a warmer spectrum of light.
Yes.
And your face looks as it actually looks in real life, which is a human being.
And not corpse-like and dead. Corpse. I swear to God, like from high school on, photos of me and people were always like person, ghastly apparition. Because, well, and you have to remember too, I'm old enough to where like people were taking pictures with flash in the 90s, and
That's
so it
what
was
it is.
just
This is right.
it was blown out.
Flash photography is bad, but was necessary for the last 80 years because the lenses and the processing, it's not enough. It's not enough to get the image looking like a human being because the processing is too low. But
Right.
now we have iPhones and that shit does it all for you. So turn the flash off, use natural light. Your camera's going to fix it. And here we are looking like humans instead of elderly skeletons, which is what I look like in real life. But because I've situated my lights at a precise temperature and location in my office, I actually look like a human being on this video.
Good light is truly a game changer, to say the
It's the
least. Well, I'm
key.
so glad that I finally nailed that. So yeah, I wonder if people have been like, "What's wrong with that woman?
No, I don't
Why
think
does she
anyone's.
look like that?" I'm like,
No
I
one
don't
is
have
saying-
cancer.
No one.
I know it looks like maybe I am turning blue slowly, but in fact, I am not. I am not under a cold spell. I just don't know how to adjust the kelvins, but now do.
No one is. No one's thinking that. You know why? Because everyone looks like shit on Zoom because nobody has good lighting and webcams are terrible. Just in general, they suck so bad.
Yeah, it sucks.
Is it kelvins? Come on. Color, temperature, K. What does K mean? Yes, it's Kelvin.
Haha, you got it. Although it looks like the portal to heaven is actually open behind me,
yes,
so that's another
true.
thing.
Also, Kelvin is a measure of temperature as well in scientific communities. So that's just a whole why can't we name things different things? Why do we have to conflate color temperature, which has nothing to do with heat, with the scientific measure of temperature, which is Kelvin? Why can't we just change all that?
I can say that when I was trying to learn Japanese, that I got very confused because one word could mean like 6 things. And I was like, what is that and why? And then I started really thinking about the English language and realizing that there are words that are spelled the same, but depending on the use, they sound different. And I was like, wow, that's so fucking confusing. And I was like, well, I guess that's just the case across perhaps many languages.
I think that's
there are
correct.
Certain, yeah.
The word saw. The word saw in English. I saw you. It is a noun that is a saw, which is a tool.
To saw.
To saw. Yeah, I don't know why that one comes to mind. I feel like there were more meanings. But yeah, there are so many words that are just
so many.
Stupid confusing and make no sense.
There's so many. So.
All right. We got a spicy one for you this week. We could start with the news-ish. Not a ton of news that we were interested in covering here. Really not much of anything, to be honest, but there are 2 items here that we both picked out, and I think they are connected. One is that this game called Highguard came out. It is a free-to-play shooter that notably was the final, like the one more thing at the Game Awards. Mm-hmm. So like the Game Awards, say whatever you want about them. Mm-hmm. Massive show with tons of huge reveals for a lot of games that we were very excited about and some we didn't care about. And then at the end, it's like, and check out this last thing. And you're expecting it to be Breath of the Wild 6 or, Final Fantasy 7 billion.
Something with major awe power, basically.
And it was this game, which you and I talked a little bit about when we did our recap. And it was like, it's a shooter and maybe it's a MOBA and it's like Overwatch, but you have guns, but you're also riding horses. And some of the characters look kind of cool and sexy, but also some of it's kind of weird, whatever. And, as a free-to-play multiplayer enthusiast, I was like, yeah. This looks, I don't know. Let's see if people like it. I'll check it out. It came out 2 days ago, yesterday, day before. We're recording on Wednesday. And it has overwhelmingly negative reviews. Like within an hour, it was like, oh my God, this is not a good game. And it got me thinking about like, how much it must suck to pour your life and heart and soul into something that is so fucking hard to write a book, to make a movie, to do anything. To make a video game is a goddamn miracle. And on paper, you're like, this is the type of game that lots of people like. It looks cool. It has cool character. Like there is so much to go into something. And then you press the button and within 5 minutes, the entire internet's like, this sucks, you suck, it sucks.
Well, I mean, people had already decided, it seems like, that they were going to shit on it because the backlash started right after the trailer at the Game Awards. It didn't start when the game came out.
That's right.
So, and I was not reading the backlash at that point. So, okay, watch for a cattail. There it goes. There it is.
Wow, I love that.
Can you move? God, rude. Anyway.
Your lighting was not affected by that giant tail that just walked, just flicked across your screen. Oh my God. He's like hitting you in the face, he or she.
No, I'm shaking her tail around because she's
I thought that
being
was like
silly. Also, I put a
movement.
book on her little like pad that she sleeps on all day on my desk, and she was just like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah, I had to move it. Now she's gonna be happy. Anyway, but it seems like for whatever reason, people had decided in advance they were going to hate on this game. Which I find even more confusing. Like watching the trailer originally or during the awards and then rewatching it before the show today, I was like, I don't care about this. This is not the kind of stuff that I care about playing.
Yeah.
It looks like like a lot of other games to me, and it just doesn't stand out. But that wouldn't make me like shit on it early. It would just make me not interested.
And I'm not criticizing people leaving reviews on Steam, because like that is the point. The purpose of that is like, hey, you spent time with the game. In theory, you bought the game, but this is a free to play, so that's a slightly different thing. And if it's not good, that's fine. Just say it's not good. That's the point. But I think that's different from what you're saying, which is like, oh, the world kind of prejudged it, because and some of the discussion around this, which I really find interesting about like anticipation and expectation, is like, if you are the final reveal at the Game Awards after, whatever, Kojima and celebrities and sequels and whatever, then I think that sets an expectation that this is going to be some hot shit, which then makes the disappointment super big.
To a degree, but I think it also, because like I don't know if you've looked at it on Steam today, but this game came out 48 hours ago and it has over 20,000 reviews,
which is crazy.
It's review bombing. People are review bombing it on purpose.
You think? Okay.
I know.
Okay, that's
20,000. Whose games have 20,000 reviews in 2 days?
So this is a very good question. It's a very good question. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I wonder, it's a free to play game that was very high profile for some reason because of the Game Awards, I guess. And there's a pedigree. These are like former Apex and Titanfall people, and I don't know any of them, their specifics by name, but like that's the point of this game was like, hey, remember how good Apex Legends and Titanfall were? We're making a new game and it's got sick horses and look at all these cool things. So I guess what I'm trying to parse out here is like, if the game is free, then you're going to have way more people in there actually touching the game. And you have to play the game. You have to boot the game and spend some amount of time in it in order to leave a review on Steam, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good question. Let me see real quick because I'm on the page because I just wanted to see what it looked like. So I see a review that says 0.4 hours spent. So
I know.
Obviously you don't have to spend a lot of time, but the average review is somewhere between 3 hours and 11 hours, it looks like.
Okay.
Pretty much. So, I mean, yeah, some people put some time in, some people didn't. But yeah, I mean, I do think that this is a key example of just, gamers online being shitty. I mean, I haven't played it. I can't say, but
in combination with the game, it does seem to be a huge miss for whatever reason. People are saying that to your point, despite taking a big swing on some of the like aesthetics and character design, it ends up looking fairly generic in a world where Overwatch and others exist. The game modes sound to me like a couple of things from Counter-Strike, but with horses. And a few people are saying, Zidar in our Discord said, I tried Highguard. I don't think it's a bad game, but it's a game that requires you to learn a lot very quickly,
right?
Which is a real problem in game design of like, you've made a deep, rich, complicated combat system, and onboarding someone into that to fully acclimate them to like how cool a thing you made is so hard. That's a really, when you play a game and you're like, wow, this game's crazy, but I'm a genius because I figured it out. Like, that's brilliant game design. And maybe it's missing the mark there. But Azidar goes on to say, the criticism I will agree with is that the maps are too large to be 3v3. and that's what people are saying across the board, that it's only 6 players and the maps are enormous. So you just spend a lot of time like riding around waiting for things to happen.
Well,
and
that's not fun.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I
guess.
thought it was interesting that Zedar said it's very sweaty, not new friendly at all. And I was like, sweaty. That's a really interesting descriptive for like what it's like to play a video game.
How could it? I'm not discounting what Zedar's saying at all, but it's that's what's crazy to me about it is like, how could it be sweaty on day one? Nobody has played the game, so it's feeling like
right.
There are hardcore people who are like, this is my game and I'm gonna smoke everybody, and it's like it just came out an hour ago. Like what? That's weird and interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think about that, but yeah, I feel for the people that made this game because I feel like they got caught in the crosshairs. I have not played it, so I cannot say, oh, conclusively it's not it's a bad game, it's a good game, whatever. I can't like do that, but I can say that unless your game is like a steaming pile of shit, I don't feel like anybody really. I think it just feels like people on the internet were bored and wanted something to hate on.
Well, we will talk about this in more depth in a moment. There's a lot to be frustrated and angry about, and sometimes we got to put that somewhere.
That's a good call.
I want to shout out Pyra Star also, who was excited to play Highguard. She says, gonna play this with my husband tonight. This was yesterday or 2 days ago. And then found out that you need the TPM chip or the secure boot chip on your PC, your Windows PC, in order to play this, which is, I guess, a newish form of anti-cheat that, 2 things, I guess. One is, my understanding is that most Windows 11 machines require the TPM chip to run Windows 11 because that's a requirement. Meaning this machine I'm sitting at right now is like, hey man, Windows 10 is over. You should upgrade to Windows 11. I'm like, bro, I cannot do it because I do not have the chip on my motherboard. So please stop bothering me about that. Wow. I literally can't do it. So, and so taking that a step further, there are some games I'm hearing about now. This is fucking one of them for some reason that require that so that it's proving to the game servers that you're not modifying your kernel or your BIOS to cheat in the game. And so Pyra's saying, and I presume I would run into the same issue where we cannot play this game, which is just fucking okay. Windows 10, Windows 11, obviously we have to move on at some point, but there are, I would venture to guess, hundreds of millions of Windows 10 computers in this world that literally cannot run Windows 11. So for you to come out and say, hey, here's a free multiplayer game that will live or die by how many players jump in and buy hats. Oh, by the way, only Windows 11 secure boot TPM chip anti-cheat people can play. The rest of you who are still rocking powerful computers on Windows 10, get fucked, I guess. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, that is crazy, honestly. Like,
you're so worried about cheating in a game that's not even successful yet that you're locking out huge chunks of your potential audience. It's very strange.
Yeah, it is very strange. Well, I guess we'll see how things go for this game, but it's not a good start. It's a pretty rough start.
And it just makes me feel bad about. Look, there's plenty to feel bad about. And this is not on the priority list of feeling bad, but it's really hard to make things and to come out and kind of get like, oh, you got mixed reviews or some people like it, but it needs improvement. And hey, it's early access, so it's not fully done. Whatever. There's lots of ways to kind of slowly creep into the video game ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it is such a bummer to be like, hey, it's out and it's gonna be some hot shit, and everyone's like, no, this sucks. Is just so demoralizing, and I have no connection to this thing. But this leads into this other completely unrelated article that you shared with me earlier today, and I think this is fascinating.
So, dear listeners and or viewers, I sent Matt a story I read at Rock Paper Shotgun about Larian CEO. His name is Sven Vinke. I hope I'm saying that right. He uses Twitter still, or X, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And he basically posted some things about video game critics and video game reviews. So it's a long post because, now you can make long posts on X. But the TLDR of it is him saying, I don't like people shitting on things others have created. Actually, I'm going to read a chunk of this because I think it's
I
worth
would,
reading.
if you don't mind, I think we should read it verbatim.
Okay.
Because there is nuance here that I think is probably glossed over when people read it, this headline. And
Okay.
that's what I'm fascinated by in talking about today.
Okay, I'm going to read it. I don't like people shitting on things others have created. Putting something out into the world makes you vulnerable, and that alone deserves respect, even if you dislike the creation. It's easy to destroy things. It's a lot harder to build them. The best critics understand this. Even when they're being critical, they do their best not to be hurtful. Sometimes I think it'd be a good idea for critics to be scored Metacritic style based on how others evaluate their criticism. I like to imagine it would encourage a bit more restraint. The harsh words do real damage. You shouldn't have to grow calluses on your soul just because you want to publish something. There's plenty of games I genuinely don't like playing, and there are many I know are made for the wrong reasons. However, it's incredibly rare for one to be made without there being someone behind it that truly cared about what they were making and putting a part of themselves in it. One of the best reviewers I ever knew refused to review games he considered failures. He believed that developers deserved the chance to try again. He knew that every failed attempt could be what enabled the next great one. I know this because I was one of those developers that failed, and he only told me many years later. So yeah, be nice to people that create things is what I'm trying to say. You need them. And yes, I get that if people are charging money, you want to know if it's good or not. But reviewers can just say, I didn't enjoy it, or I don't think it's well made, or I don't think it's worth the money they are charging. That's enough. No need to get personal for the sake of some likes or headlines if you're press. Going to step down from my soapbox now. It's been on my mind for a while, and just opening my feed today pushed it all to the surface. Think of the time you had to recite something in front of the class and how nervous you were and how much any negative comment hurt. Be nice to one another. Be nice to the people creating stuff to entertain you. Treat them like you would like to be treated if you made something. Consider it a strategic investment in the quality of your future entertainment. You won't regret it. So, super long post, but when I first, listeners, watchers, viewers, when I first sent this to Matt, I read the headline and I did something that I'm so not proud of, which is that I reacted to the headline of the story, which is Baldur's Gate 3 studio boss calls out hurtful personal video game reviewers. Sometimes I think it'd be a good idea for critics to be scored Metacritic style. I see he did say that, but framing.
Factual.
Right. Frame, the way it's framed, I reacted to the way it was framed and skimmed, didn't read it in context. So then Matt read it and said, like, I actually really agree with him. And I was like, oh, well, this should be interesting. And then I read it in more detail. And then I went, oh man, I fell into the ultimate pitfall, the one that I as a person in the media space always tell people not to fall into, which is that I reacted to the headline, but which shows you how powerful the headlines are, right? So Matt, why don't you weigh in on your feelings about it before I go into my own?
This will be a fluid discussion because you and I I think we have a lot to say about it. Or let me put it this way.
Let's really drill down on this.
Love that.
It's got to be multiple years ago. My wife got me this little soundboard, this very dumb thing that's like corporate jargon. So you can just press a button and go,
Let's take that offline.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Does it say something
What would be
about
the key learnings here?
circle? Let's circle back.
I do yep.
Let's circle back to that.
Colette's vomiting.
I want to projectile vomit every time circle back.
If you're an
comes
audio
up.
listener, you're not seeing. There's vomit all over the camera lens. It's
Threw up
terrible.
on the cat, everything. Everything.
I love Rock Paper Shotgun. I've been reading them for so long.
Me
I
too,
admit that
forever.
I haven't been reading them lately because it's hard to keep publications in your media diet, and it's because of the way the internet is.
Mm-hmm.
But Rock Paper Shotgun has gone through a lot of. I think they've changed hands or been acquired or been on the skids and then come back. So I don't know the status of their health, the health of their company, and the health of their editorial vision. And I have no idea who this writer is. And I'm not. This writer is Edwin Evans Thurwell. And I think this article treats this post with care and nuance.
Yes. And also, I just want to add one more quick thing, which is that Edwin Evans Thurwell may not have been the final person to write this headline.
Correct.
His editor might have written it if there is one. And
Correct.
That's how, unfortunately, that shit works.
And so the headline, as you just laid out, is like taking the most like obviously emotional and like vendetta oriented tiny piece of the larger post and points it out as like, oh, this basically like the CEO of this rich CEO of this company, parentheses, who has been all talking about AI and shit in their other game that they may or may not be making, thinks that critics should have a score over their head so that other people can know which critics are good and which critics are bad. Can you believe this? Is the emotional weight of the headline as I perceive it, and as I click, I had the same reaction as you. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then we read the article, and it was like, "Well, there's more here." So,
yeah,
framing, which is, you and I know, the lifeblood of any media company, influencer, internet publisher, and you can't escape it, but also if you're doing it, you're part of the problem. And so I don't know what the solution is. The solution is to get out of the advertising business and do something else, I guess. Yes. But that's a larger topic. So
yes.
I'm frustrated by the presentation of this headline on a publication that I respect, and also fully get it. We all fucking do it. It sucks. Okay. I agree wholeheartly with the first chunk of this, which is that you and I know, and many of our listeners know, we just talked about it with Highguard, and that's why I was very interested in talking about this in the context of Highguard. Making anything is so fucking hard, and only like 1% of all of us do it. Mm-hmm. And then of that 1%, only a fraction, another 1% of the 1%, for example, I'm just making up numbers, actually have critical or commercial or whatever you want to call it success. Mm-hmm. It's so hard and risky to do anything. And this made me think about like a personal policy that I have when you go to a restaurant or a bar and there is a musician playing at the bar. I don't care if they are fucking Bruce Springsteen or the worst singer I've ever heard in my life. I clap after every fucking song, even if I'm the only one clapping, because it is so fucking hard to get out in there and stand up and sing, and nobody in that restaurant gives a shit what you're doing,
Yep.
but you're still doing it because
Yep.
you're trying to make something happen, and you get applause from me if you do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Takes enormous balls.
And so there's something else here. So this article, the tweet was published according to the article, on the night of the 27th. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that the Larian CEO is talking about Highguard, because he's saying, oh, I went on social media and all of a sudden I saw all this
That makes
negativity
sense.
around game development, because nobody talks shit about Baldur's Gate 3. Like, it may not be the game for you. It may not be, you may not have gotten into it or what, but like it's one of the most awarded and
Right.
critically acclaimed games ever. And many of Larian's games are that as well. So like, I don't think he's specifically talking about being butthurt about one of his own projects.
Right.
I am now reading this in the context of like a double A studio took a big swing and everyone fucking shat right on them right away.
I think you're right. That's perfect call, honestly. And yeah.
Now, the second chunk, which is like, hey, the public should be criticizing the critics or rating the critics.
I don't agree with that at all.
I feel like there's a part of that feels very, not very, it feels a little reprisal, revengey.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels a little icky, but also we're living in a media ecosystem that is so noisy and so chaotic and so like we just said, everything's got to have a clickbait thumbnail bullshit headline, TikTok fucking whatever, just so that we can survive to the next one.
Yep.
I'm not opposed to the idea that like, hey, fellow video game enjoyer, this YouTuber isn't that great because they sensationalize all this bullshit, and you should actually look at this YouTuber instead. Or you should actually, if you like strategy games, I've got the gal for you, and she's really good at this. Don't read IGN's strategy game coverage because, man, it's full of advertising and and the headlines suck. And I think to an extent, we kind of already do that because we are humans on the internet who can pick and choose what we like and dislike, but we also can't because algorithms decide what we see and don't see.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to imagine a world in which, okay, let's just use a different food critics.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Like I mentioned to Patrick about the comment from the Larian CEO, and he was like, I'd love to like rate some food critics, because there are food critics
there you go
that, they can literally be like, oh, this was trash. And then the entirety of New York City will be like, it's trash.
Right.
But like they can quite literally just have a vendetta against somebody, or they can quite literally just be like, oh, I don't like fish or whatever.
And
it's
forget
just
the
not,
vendetta. It's two things, which the Larian CEO is pointing out. I don't like this particular thing, and my business is contingent on how much anger and rage I put
Right.
in my headline. So
Right.
it doesn't have, so let's set aside a personal beef with the creator. That's a whole other thing that sucks. And that's, I'm sorry if that happens to you, that sucks. The mechanism of the internet is to make people angry or anxious or afraid in order to drive traffic.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And he is right. And so if there was some human-driven system like a Metacritic, and I don't know much about Metacritic, so I don't know if it's good or bad, whatever. if there was a human upvote, downvote system that was like, hey, this person really gives measured, constructive feedback and has a deep well of experience about fighting games, and they know their shit, versus this person is an intern at IGN who's cranking out traffic stories with clickbait headlines because that's the business model. And I'm not shitting on IGN. I don't know fucking IGN. That would be useful to the consumer, right?
It would be, but I feel the need to point out that, and I hate this, but it's true. The reason that we are drowning in the algorithms are because we had the strongest response to the algorithms. And that's why businesses shifted to that strategy. And the reason that clickbait is everywhere is because the strongest response to news is to clickbait with negative news in the headlines. Right. Like, I have looked at, Google Analytics so many times at jobs and just been like, this is so sad. Like, why are people so fixated on this stuff?
But I don't think people are choosing. I guess I would quibble
I think maybe they're getting tired of it, though. Like, they're doing it, but they're getting tired, maybe. Maybe that's what it is, because I hear people saying, like, oh, I want to hear positive news. And I'm like, that's just not what the data says you want.
The data doesn't say it. And here's the analogy that I use, because I occasionally, and I have a few coming up that I'm working on, but I am talking to teachers and parents and kids about social media and also AI stuff, like literacy of like, shit's fucking insane, and kids should not be, they should be mindful about how they use this platform. But actually, the attorney that is suing Meta for all of this child endangerment stuff, and that case is happening right now, this week. He has brought many lawsuits, but he's fucking putting Mark Zuckerberg on the stand now.
Sweet.
And so what happens in this trial will, whatever. Years ago, we interviewed him. His name is Matthew Bergman. And he said the thing that I will always repeat, which is, when you see a car crash on the side of the road, you do not like it. You do not want to see it.
But you look.
But you have to look. You have to look at it. Because in our core, in our DNA, we have to see and make sure and know what happened so that we can avoid what happened. And this is what social media has become. Yes, it's full of fun, silly, inspiring, interesting things. But to your point, when you dig into the analytics, and social media companies know this, they have all of our data. They know that serving you a car crash, whether that's like, something's happening in the world, or can you believe this thing, or this person is super bad or good, or you said something where it's like, oh, well, people are getting tired of it. Yeah, man. I am very tired of seeing car crashes. I do not want to see them anymore, but I have to look. Yep. I cannot not look. So what I'm sort of identifying here is like an intractable part of the human mind that cannot change. But what and media and social media companies have hacked into that. Whatever, I don't know what it's parasympathetic or whatever response, stress response. And that's what pays the bills. Yep. And so anyway, sorry, I'm sorry to pull the soapbox out so fiercely here, but until that reward system, until the algorithmic system that rewards anger and anxiety and partisanship is turned off or regulated away, this will never be solved.
Well, you make an interesting point, and it makes me think about, the way you framed it. You said, we have to look. And yes, we have to look. But what I was thinking in my mind was, a mammal in the wild is always scanning for danger.
Correct.
And we are mammals.
Correct.
So, it may seem like when you react to, oh my God, what company went bankrupt, that you're just reacting to clickbait. But if you really think about it, you may be reacting more to something you think of as danger.
Correct.
Like, oh, what if the company that went bankrupt is one that I rely on for something?
Totally.
Or, things
what
like
if
that.
my company goes bankrupt? We are in a constant state of fight or flight when we read the news, as it is currently. 6 billion people went to school and work today and nothing bad happened to them. Film at 11. Like, that's not the news, but it's truly what happened today.
Right. Yeah.
We're and this is definitely my fault. I am pushing us into like deep, dark media theory territory, but it circles back to it. This is not, I'm not speaking for the Larian CEO, but I think what I read from his statement is, this is not about personal vendettas. This is not about revenge. This is not about shitting on people for the sake of shitting on it. It's about the structure of the current internet rewards me, a critic, to say extreme things about anything, a food, a president, a video game.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Correct. So do we need Metacritic for critics? I don't know, and that seems I think he's veering into something that feels a little petty.
Yeah, a little petty, a little icky.
But I'm not opposed to it. But also, I don't know, you and me and the lovely people we hang out with in our video game community subscribe to very specific publications and YouTubers and influencers because we know that they know their shit and we like their take on a thing. Yeah. We don't necessarily just scroll a feed and take the temperature of a video game. I don't think we are normal. I think we are very specific internet people.
I think that pretty much, I would say the people in our Discord who talk a lot, participate a lot, one of the things I feel like we all have in common is that we are all kind of interested in more than just having fun when it comes to games. We're interested in the trends, the wider patterns, the things that have changed over time, our experiences when we started with games, our experiences today, the industry on the whole, what's happening in the industry. And I think we talk about a lot of that, but yeah, maybe you're right. And it makes me wonder if it's one of those situations where you live in kind of a happy bubble, like the Discord's kind of like a happy bubble space. And, and it really is. I mean, like, I cannot tell you how many times as I've had conversations about the state of media over the last, even month, I've thought, oh, wow, like Discord is the place I can go where there's no algorithm and there's there's an ad or two, I guess now, but like it's just one of the only. Yeah, right. So it's like, it's just one of the few places I can go, but it kind of creates a bubble in a way where then like, somewhere in my brain, I'm like, oh, gamers are like this, and then you meet other ones and you're like, oh, fuck. Like, of course they're not, like it's just your little bubble.
There's no such thing as gamers. I was thinking about this actually. So pause here. Colette did a podcast with a clinical psychologist, and it's called Clinically Awkward, right?
Yes.
And it is specifically about ADHD women telling their stories about their fixations. And the episode is so great and fun and compelling because it's you. And I like the show, so I'm biased. But she's not a video game enjoyer the way you are. And she kept she kept misunderstanding video game culture. She was like, but why are gamers so toxic? And you were doing a lot of work to try to like unpack that. Why is there so much toxic masculinity in video games? And I kept listening, thinking, because it's not my place to be part of this conversation, but I'll bring it back to you here, which is that like there is no such thing. What I want to say is there is no such thing as gamer culture. There is no such thing as movie culture. There is no such thing as book culture, because the book that you are reading has nothing to do with the book that I am reading. The movies that I like have nothing to do with the movies that you like. And the video games that I like, I am on an expedition with 8,000 other space pilots to explore the furthest reaches of the galaxy that will take 3 months. That is a video game community that I am part of, and it has nothing to do with Call of Duty bros dropping racial slurs in voice chat. There is no overlap in that Venn diagram.
You're right.
Zero. I mean, I'm sure, who knows? I'm sure one person is playing Call of Duty, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and so what is my point? I don't remember, but I think when 7 video games came out a year and they were all like muscle dudes with guns and it's the greatest video game, that was gamer culture to an extent. But that's not it anymore. Yeah. That's not a thing.
Yeah. This is reminding me of a piece I wrote a really long time ago. I would have to dig it up from my blog about, it was when Gamergate was exploding, actually.
Which and you talk about, you cover a lot on this episode of the podcast, which was really, really useful in that conversation.
Illuminating, I'm sure, for many. But I remember writing a piece about the word gamer and about not exactly what you just said, but kind of that the way people behaved during Gamergate had kind of tainted it to a point where I wouldn't want to identify as that to any person, because that would be the thing that they might most likely identify with me. Yes. And I didn't feel that was fair or right, or that it was representative of so many people I knew who were great people who loved games and would never participate in a thing like Gamergate. I'd have to go dig that piece up. But anyway, TLDR, there was a lot of discourse at that time about the term gamer and identifying with it. And
it's a stupid term. If I love movies, am I a movier? A movie man? Am I a movie goer? Like the term
you're a movie man.
Movie goers is a phrase, but nobody on fucking planet Earth would be like, yes, nice to meet you. I'm a movie goer.
Binge shows, are you a Netflixer?
Am I a spinger, a streamer? No, like we can say these phrases in the context of like, I like to do these things, but I do not identify myself as a class.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. It makes you think about it, though, right? It's like gamer. Why did that come about when there's no? I mean, I guess you could say movie buff is kind of like if you're really into movies.
Yeah, that's fine.
There really isn't a TV version of that. Like makes you wonder, like why did this get that label?
Because of news media and marketing. I think.
That makes sense.
I'm sure it's more complex than that, but I think it was TV news talking about the gamers and all their, proclivities.
Yep.
And it was video game companies being like, if you're a true gamer, you're going to game with this joystick instead of that joystick. Like,
yeah, they need a word.
It's bullshit. A word.
Yeah.
It's a you're trying to identify a class of people, which is just so stupid / kind of problematic in 2026 to group a bundle of people together and be like, you are this. That is your identifying trait. Obviously, there are far worse categories we can assign to people than gamer, but philosophically, etymologically, we should not be doing that.
Yeah, agreed.
So just to close it out here, I also agree with his sentiment that if you making art is very, very hard. Being vulnerable by putting it out into the world is extremely hard. And if you shit on that so hard and so personally or vitriolically in order to get the likes and the clicks, you are almost certainly discouraging that person from ever doing it again. And as we know from making anything, you have to do it many times and fail in order to learn how to make something amazing. And if you are pushing people out of an industry because review media culture and influencer culture and review culture is so toxic, you are pushing potential greatness out of the industry and out of making art. And let me tell you something, dear listeners. We need people to make art more than ever for a million fucking geopolitical and technological reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. Oh boy. Video games.
Wait, do I have a good... Okay, wait. What's this one?
That's a no-brainer.
No, it's not a no-brainer because there's a lot there's too much.
We're gaining traction.
We are gaining traction. What games have you been playing, my friend?
So I haven't really felt I as I mentioned, I started Fallout with a whole bunch of mods last week, and this week I haven't picked it up. I may pick back up tonight, but I wanted to play something with Patrick, and so we did one night where we picked Sunderfolk back up, and we did a couple rounds of that, which was fun. It's just a
Did
great
you get
game.
Past that little roadblock that on that mission? Good.
Yep, we did.
Great.
Had to change some archetypes around and change some cards. So we did. And then the next night I was like, want to play something co-op? He's like, you want to play Sunderfolk again? I was like, I don't know, let me think. So he mentioned a site where you can see like all of the co-op options for games. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll get it. So if we want to add it to the show notes, we can.
In seeing this,
like,
thank you.
Oh, I think it's called Co-Optimus, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Googling.
But anyway, yes, please let me know if that's correct. But anyhow, so I pull it up and I'm looking at it, and like right smack at the top is Absalom. And I'm like, oh, that's in our library because we have a shared game library with a friend. And so basically we have our stuff.
Do I need to call the police?
No.
Are you sharing a login with someone outside your household? How dare you?
He's in our Steam family.
Cops are here.
So he bought this game.
Yeah.
And the reason he bought this game is because he is a huge fighting game fan.
Mm-hmm.
And Absalom is basically kind of like if you took a really great side-scrolling beat-em-up game and smashed it into Hades.
Yes, that's
what it's like.
Yep.
You've played it, haven't you?
We have it. We love it. My son is obsessed with it. And I have fallen off of it, but he really wants me to play with him again. And so we need to get back to it. This is the
inspo you need.
I do need the inspo. And all I'll say is it's great. It's a really great game.
I will say that, being the devout Hades stan that I am, it's very hard for me to play a game that uses the Hades structure and not judge the shit out of it. I've played a lot of them and I've been like, you tried, I get what you're trying to do. But part of the reason that it works is not just the recipe, but the way the recipe was executed, right?
Totally.
It's the ingredients.
Absolutely.
Like the voice acting is so good. The art is so good.
Agreed.
And this is the only game I have played since discovering Hades and Hades 2 that I feel nails the art and the voices as well as it does the formula.
I agree.
Like, I was like, oh, that part's kind of like Hades. But then like we kept playing and I was like, oh, wow, really good voice acting.
Yeah.
Really fun, really easy to play and satisfying feeling fighting.
Yes.
Um,
And like this could so easily have been like, I'm a paladin and you're a archer and you're a knight. But instead, the characters are so cool and unique and weird. The world is weird and unique. And it's very good.
Well, and I mean, to me, right, and I have a certain kind of taste. But like when we first booted it up, I was like, oh, this feels like a graphic novel. It feels like you are playing a really like it reminds me of some of the graphic novels that I've read over my, and I'm not a huge graphic novel reader, but like the big ones, like Why the Last Man, stuff that like I read and loved. There's a certain aesthetic, right? Yes. And like I was like, oh, this is that aesthetic. And it's really, really, really well executed. So I do think that it's kind of like when people tried to make Silent Hill games and movies and they were like, oh, it's just in the foggy town, right? And you're like, no. No.
There's other stuff.
It's not like you think that's it to the formula, but that's not all there is to the formula. So we played about, I don't know if I can see how much I've played on the page I'm on. I can't because I'm just in a browser. But I think we played maybe 3 hours like in our first go because we were just having a great time. It's fun. The loop feels satisfying to me. Unlocking new characters and kind of getting to feel out like, oh, cool, okay, that's what that does and this what this does.
Which they space out nicely. Really well.
Yeah.
Like Arthur has been playing, my son has been playing for many weeks and he only just unlocked the 4th character, and when he did it was like, whoa, it's the Frog Wizard, which is the character that I most was interested in because he just looks fucking cool. He looks like Frog from Chrono Trigger, but a wizard instead of a swordsman, and he rules. He or she, I don't remember the voice,
I don't either
what the gender is, but anyway the point is that it doesn't dump everything on your plate right away. You really have to work for it in a good way. So that's what we have found so far. It sounds like you're early on.
Or yeah, I mean pretty early on, but definitely like had so much fun that I think that like it is a no-brainer that we will play it again. In fact, we will probably play it again tonight.
Nice. Because,
I mean, I feel like it smashes together. Like, I've been playing like these like side-scrolling beat-em-up games since the NES. Like,
totally.
It's like, it's a pedigree that like, it feels kind of coded into my, my brain as far as video games go. But then I love that it takes that and then it takes kind of like the Hades roguelite level up kind of satisfaction and throws that in there. One thing we also really liked, and that I think that Hades did so much better in Hades 2, not that I really missed it in Hades 1, is that in Hades 2 you can go up or down. You have 2 paths to choose from, so you're not just doing the same run over and over for the sake of variety, and I think it worked well. And I love that Absalom allows you to do that same thing and kind of see the map or be like, oh, well, if we go down there, we'll see this fountain, and then the next run maybe we'll go up or we'll go this way or whatever.
Are there like mechanical incentives where it's like, oh, I need to gather this much material or beat this enemy because I have a goal in mind, and does that inform your decision to change your fork in the road, or is it purely just like, I don't know, I'll go left today? Like, is that I couldn't quite figure that out.
So when we played that one session we had, we were told like if you go down the lower path, there's a fountain down there you can unlock. And so we were like, oh, let's go check out the fountain. So it was more like exploratory. Now, I don't know if that changes as you get deeper into the game, but that was what drove us, was curiosity to go see what that is, and how that might help us.
Yep.
So,
and the environments are just stunning. It is fun to look at other areas. You go down to the beach, you go in the forest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I remember when it came out, I remember looking at it and being like, oh, this looks like it would be really good. But I think I also had a bunch of other stuff going on at the time and I was a little overwhelmed and I was like, okay, I'll get back to it. So it was nice, to have that moment of like, oh, this is in our library. Like, let's go play it and try it out.
Yep.
And I'm almost positive I've said this on the show before, but growing up an only child, I never had anyone to play games with. So all my gaming was solo. And so sometimes I have a real craving to like play co-op with my husband or, like sometimes with a friend, but mostly with Patrick because, he's like my built-in bestie.
Totally.
And so I really do enjoy, I enjoy us playing co-op games together. I feel like adult me enjoys it, but I feel like there's like a little kid in me that really enjoys it too. That's
It's
like,
the best.
oh, someone will play with me now. And like, that's a nice feeling.
If you can both get obsessed with the game at the same time and work together on progress, that's the dream. You know what I mean? Like, I think the true test will be like, oh, if one of you is kind of like falling off, because that's actually what I'm struggling with my son is like, he really loves it and I love it, but I feel like my attention is elsewhere. So he has progressed and then I see he's like, can you play with me? And I'm looking at it being like, I don't know where the hell you are in this game. And I don't know to join it. It is drop in, drop out. So you can, but
Right.
I feel like he has surpassed me and gone on his own journey. And so I gotta get back to it anyway. But
it can be hard sometimes to pick it up when someone else has gone like way back, like way into it,
I on Lauren's her previous Stardew save, she has since gone again and is min-maxing the fuck out of Stardew Valley as we speak. But I joined her co-op game one time, and as you know, and it was a late game farm. You know what I mean? So there was so freaking much. And in your brain as the player, it's like, well, I milk the cows and then I pet the animals and then I go down here and then I put the stone in the box and then I go here and then I ride it. And you have the rhythm of your day in Stardew. And then she drops me in the middle of that. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Where are you? What are we doing? What should I do for you? You're telling me to go here, but there's 65 crops here. And it was so overwhelming and stressful to drop into an end game Stardew farm that I was like, no, I will not be playing co-op. We both love this game. We both want to play together. I cannot join you in this save. Perhaps we will play together from the beginning.
Yeah, I totally get that. And that stresses me out too. I don't want that. No thanks.
So, all right. So more Absalom is coming your way probably
Definitely.
tonight and beyond. Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's, we have it on the Switch 2, but it is also a Switch 1 game. I can't imagine it would run poorly there. It's a 2D game that just phenomenal.
Oh, I also forgot to say one last thing about it, and I have the same feeling about playing Hades, which I think is why I love it and why I love Diablo when I played like Diablo 2 so much. Yeah. Sometimes it just is really nice to just kill shit, which I think I've said on the show before. And it's a very satisfying kill shit game for both of us. We were just both like, kill the thing.
Super crunchy, super tactile. Oh, here's a question, actually, a mechanical question for you. The one thing that I felt was important but could never get the hang of, there is an ability, it's not class or character specific. It's like a dash, but the dash is also a block. And so it's like you're dashing forward into an enemy. And if you do it at the exact same moment with the enemy's attacking, you like block, you parry basically. And like, I'm down for a good parry system. Expedition 33 not included. But I felt confused that you were dashing and blocking at the same time, and I could never get the timing right on it.
I also could get the timing right. And and Patrick and I were talking about this after playing, the only other thing we felt was missing was that we thought that it would be great if you could dash up or down.
Oh,
because
yeah.
You're moving this way and this way, right? And so it's like there were a lot of times during the boss fights where I would try to dash up to get away, to get at it. Cause like beat 'em ups are always like, you have to be on the exact level with the enemies. Right.
Yep.
And I was like, well, it would make sense that if a guy's barreling towards you, then instead of dashing backwards a few feet, you would dash up or down, but you can't.
But you can't.
So that was the one thing that got us. And we also had trouble with what you were just talking about. The timing of the parry.
I'm like, I played many hours of the game, and I do not know if the dash is for evasion or for blocking or both. Like, I don't understand its purpose.
I'm going to pay attention tonight when I play, because I feel like I wasn't really nailing that. And so I'm wondering if I'm just missing it or if it's just as challenging for me as it was for you. So I'll report back.
Yeah, let me know if you get the hang of it. And that it kind of was a bit of a bummer. It's the one blemish on an otherwise, like, the game feels so good to touch and play, right? It's so tactile, but then the game clearly wants you to do this parry thing.
Right.
And I don't understand what it's asking me to do. And and so if the game was like, whoa, this is like a precision fighter that takes many hours to learn, but it's not. It's like mash, 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 combo, combo, juggle, juggle, smash, air jump, and everything feels so good and intuitive, except this one little thing that the game's like, come on, man, if you stagger this enemy, that's how you're going to take them down. And it's like, I have no idea what you want me to do. I don't understand this mechanic. It was weird. And I think it was actually part of the reason why I was like, man, I'm missing something. Maybe I'll play 20 other games this week. Co-Optimus, it looks like a leaderboard of like popular games with articles and reviews and stuff. So yes. It looks good.
This was it. So yeah, because you can see that Absalom is right there.
It's pretty high on the list. Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, now you know of a potential resource, which might be handy for things.
I like it very much. Yeah, and we're always looking for a Sunderfolk replacement. We have not found it yet.
Hard because it's a really, really, really good game, and
it's a special game.
Standout, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What did I send you? Oh, just very briefly in the time we have left, I just want to shout out, and I never get the game right, and my son laughs at me when I call it random shit. Fall Guys Crown Jam.
What do you call it? Like, you can't remember the name of it, and so you call it like
Fall
Spring Guys or something?
No, Fall Guys Crown Busters, Jam Crown Jumpers. Like, I can't quite figure that out.
Oh, that's funny.
But I walk into the living room the other day and I see my son playing a game on the Switch, and I'm like, what game is this? Like, what the hell is this? What, did you download something? Like, you're not authorized to download video games. What are you playing? And he's like, oh no, this is Fortnite. But when you load up Fortnite, they're like, hey, check out this Fall Guys game in Fortnite. And I was like, whoa. Oh. And so now I knew Epic, purveyors of Fortnite, purchased, I don't remember the studio's name. I'll look it up or it will come to me. But
the people who made Fall Guys.
Yeah, basically. Fall Guys was this big hit / flash in the pan. Really fun, wacky, silly, physics-based, jumping around with 100 other players. And I felt very charmed and engaged by it, and then was like, also this is very frustrating. Like, it's a very frustrating, punishing game. It's a rage quitter.
Okay.
And then I think within a year, Epic snatched the studio right up. And it was like a nice win for them. I don't remember what they're called. Maybe you can look it up as we're chatting. But and since then, they have built Fall Guys cosmetics and other games. There is another Fall Guys game in Fortnite, I believe. I'll have to triple check that. Anyway, if you buy a skin If you are get a Darth Vader skin in Fortnite, then you also own Darth Vader as a Lego guy because there's all the Lego things in Fortnite. And then
Okay.
you theoretically, though your mileage may vary, you will own a Darth Vader helmet as a Fall Guy bean in Fortnite because it's one epic account to rule them all, and you can have all the things. And so he's playing this game, and it's a 3v3 basketball game that I would describe as NBA Jam plus Fall Guys plus Rocket League plus Switch Sports Soccer, which I love. Switch Sports Soccer. Switch Sports Soccer is so good, and we played it so much, and we're so obsessed with it. And Switch Sports Soccer is basically Rocket League, but much slower, so that you can actually control your human being instead of like driving a car and trying desperately to like swing the car around 5 seconds before you hit the ball to nail the ball at the right exact moment. This is much more precise of like, oh, I grab the ball, I'm running down, I'm jumping with the ball, I'm shooting the ball. And it's much more, it's just noob friendly. I think Rocket League is a precision game that I had my fun with and realized I will never be good at, and that's fine. Whereas Switch Sports Soccer and now this Fall Guys Jam, Crown Jam, is super intuitive, super easy, super pick up and play. And I think it's cool that they baked it into Fortnite because if you care about Fortnite and you care about earning cosmetics and earning experience and leveling up your battle pass or earning free rewards from the battle pass, and if you don't buy it, you could hop into Battle Royale, you can hop into all these other shit-ass modes that other kids make in Fortnite, which mostly suck, or you can play this doofus NBA Jam game that is super fun and then level up your rewards and get cool hats and get V-Bucks, and it's great. And we don't have a good NBA Jam game. Like, the license was bumped around here or there. There is something called, it is an official NBA license. It's called, it's Jam something. What is it called? It just came out and it was not very good, or it was fine, but people didn't care about it. I'm Googling NBA mascot Jam game. What is it? NBA Bounce 2025, which is NBA Jam, but instead of playing as Muggsy Bogues from the 1990s Charlotte Hornets, the only basketball player besides Michael Jordan I could probably name, you're playing as the Chicago Bull or the Philly Fanatic. That's baseball. Whatever, the mascots. You wear the big mascot heads, and it's cute and fun, but apparently it's not amazing. Anyway, you are your Fall Guy bean, and you can wear a cool costume based on your cosmetic, and you can double jump, which is awesome. You can grab another player, not Gang Beast style, but you kind of like, you tackle. It's called tackle. You can, if another player has the ball, you like run up to them and tackle them to steal the ball. You can sort of swish. I don't know. You kind of swipe around yourself in a radius so that if the ball is loose, you can kind of go whoosh and grab it out of the air or grab it from your immediate environment. So that's kind of how you make a quick play in the moment, in the heat of the moment. And of course you can shoot, and the shoot is on the right trigger, and it sort of charges up and it gives you like an arc, and you're kind of like, I'm getting close to the basket, and you're kind of like, and you sort of get to the right amount of charge, and then once you know that your shot is lined up, you let it go and you shoot it, and hopefully you're hitting this big doofus inflatable basket. These are not NBA baskets, they're big. It's like playing NBA Jam in a bounce house. That's what this game is.
Okay.
And then if you make it all the way to the net, you can just dunk it. You just press A and you go, whoa, whoosh. But I do believe other players can like double jump and tackle in midair and swipe it out of your hand. So like so we've been playing casual matches, but there's a ranked mode, and I'm very interested in playing like ranked Crown Jam where you're playing against other competitive players and seeing if you can really like jump in midair and block a dunk or like slam the ball down and whatever. Like I think this is a very dumb game that anyone can play, but also the skill ceiling might be quite high, and I'm interested in seeing what people can do. Last thing, you get like an ultimate ability that seems to just charge over time. And what you can do then is activate that at key moments. And I think there's only 3. You get to choose them at the beginning of the match. So you can choose you can turn yourself into a giant that it then lets you like stampede and stomp and no one can stop you for like 5 seconds. So if you're in the heat of like everyone's competing for the ball and time's running out and there's 1 point to go, you can hit X or whatever it is and go, Mario yourself up to be a big boy, and then you can just smash past your competition and dunk it in. There's what are the other 2 abilities? Probably like a speed boost, maybe is one of them, and then what's the third one? I don't remember. There's a third one. And that's fun because you can really only use them once or twice per match because the matches are super quick. But if you use them at key moments strategically, it can turn the tide of a game. And that's all there is to it. And it's really fun. And it's really fun to play together with your kids. You can't play on the same screen, but we have 3 switches in the house now. So it's like, hey, you log into your Fortnite account on this switch. I'll log in here. We squad up together because we're friends in Fortnite. And then we're playing together in the same room, but on separate devices. Fun. And you can obviously do that online, of course. And yeah, it's 3v3. Here's my criticism, which is very minor, purely cosmetic. 1, my Fall Guy Bean is cool because I have a handful of dumbass skins. And so my guy looks cool, but then when you load into a match, you're like, okay, we're team unicorn or we're team wolves or we're team chicken. And so you then your team all wears the mascot of your team. So everyone looks like a unicorn or everyone looks like a chicken, which is super cute and fun. But it completely covers the cosmetic skin that you have, which is the most anti-Fortnite thing I've ever seen. It's a very strange design choice.
That is a weird design choice.
What's the point of unlocking sick hats if they're just going to be covered and I can't show them off? Number 2, there's no emote system. And so the best part about Switch Sports is that when you make a sick goal or you make a cool save, you can use, I think, the bumper to like select an emoji emote, and you can unlock the emotes. So you can say like, you can do a little dinosaur that's like rawr, or you can do a little lady that's like, I'm sad because I missed the pass or whatever. Like it's just fun to just spam little emotes in the match. And I thought for sure in Fortnite, the game that wants to sell you the emotes and the skins and the hats, surely there will be some trash talk emotes and dances that I can do when I make a sick goal. And you cannot do it. I'm like, what?
Missed opportunity.
Why am I here? I'm here to fucking dance in a car dealership blow up costume. You know those blow up guys that flop around on the car deal? That's my skin in Fortnite, and I want to do a fucking Dougie dance with that guy, but I can't do it.
Yeah, that does seem like a very weird oversight, but
other than that, it's great, and we love it. And if you have a Fortnite account and don't care about Fortnite, but you're like, I should log into Fortnite and see what's going on, this is what's going on, and it's really cool.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. I have never played Fortnite. I have to admit I've never wanted to play Fortnite, but I know it continues to be huge.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad someone's having fun.
Yeah. We're having fun in this house. And it's a silly way to like earn free rewards on a battle pass without actually playing Fortnite. Like I enjoy Fortnite here and there, but I'm not going to like grind the battle pass unless it's like another Star Wars season. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I'll just like dunk on some dudes for an hour while listening to a podcast and earn a cool sword or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems
Great.
Seems legit.
Yeah. So that's it for now. When we began the podcast, you were set up in your home office and your light is all set and it's beautiful and you still look great. But because you're wearing a
now
dark
I'm just
shirt,
a disembodied head.
You are a floating head. So if you're listening to the audio version and you just want to see a floating head,
open the video version.
Get on over here and smash some buttons on YouTube.
Creepy.
It's great. Thank you for listening. Please remember to be kind. Rewind your podcast after listening. Resist fascism wherever you find it. And we will talk with you in 1 week's time.